Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this throw pillow here. You can see it's got ribbing in it. It's actually, as long as you can do a front post triple crochet and a double crochet, it's really easy to do. It's 2 panels sewed together, so it looks the same on both sides. I like it. I think it turned out really nice. So let's go ahead and get started on this bad boy. Okay, for this project, I am using a Lion brand Woolies Thick and Quick. It is a 80% acrylic, 20% wool blend, and it's a super bulky number 6. You don't have to use this yarn. Any type of super bulky 6 will work, but the color I am using is called Wild Strawberry. And there are, let's see, 87 yards per skein, and you're going to need a full 4 skeins to finish this pillow. And then I'm going to be using a size N, which is a 9mm crochet hook. Also, you're going to need a pillow insert. Now, you need it to be 16 by 16. I bought this at Walmart for just a few dollars. It was next to the buttons. You can also get them on Amazon also. This one is, you can machine wash this. So you want to make sure you get one that's machine washable, because when you put it into the pillow, it's sealed up. So if you wash, and you can't take this out. So when you wash it, this is going to be inside of it. So if you get one that's not, that you have to take the insert out and wash the cover only, that's probably not going to work. But this one is machine washable, so even though it's sewed into the pillow case that I'm making, you can just wash the whole pillowcase, and it's fine. But remember, the size needs to be 16 by 16. And I just want to take a second to ask you to not forget to subscribe to my channel. If you haven't already, if you look in the lower right hand corner of the screen right now, you see that little red subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and click on that. That way you don't miss any of my videos. Also, if you like this pillow, like the way it looks, you enjoyed my video, if you give me a thumbs up, that's greatly appreciated. So now we're going to go ahead and start off with a slip knot on our hook. So we're going to do a chain of 4. Now we're going to slip stitch into our first chain to form a ring. Just like that. Now we are going to work a chain of 3. Now this chain of 3 counts as a double crochet here and for the rest of the pattern. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to work 2 more double crochets through the center of the ring. There's 2. So counting that chain 3, we have 3 double crochets. I kind of slide them over. Now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to work 3 more double crochets. Like that. Slide them over a bit. Chain 2. 3 more double crochets through the center of the ring. Chain 2, and 1 more time, 3 more double crochets. And now we're going to end, we're not going to chain 2 here, we're going to end by half double crocheting into the top of the first chain 3. So no chains here after this group of 3 double crochets there. Just go ahead and yarn over, go into the top of that beginning chain 3, draw up a loop, and then we just half double. We just yarn over and go through all 3 loops. There we go. So now you have 12 double crochets, and then you'll have this counts as a chain 2 space, so you'll have 4 chain 2 spaces. Now we are going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. We're going to work right back into this space here, and we're going to work 1 double crochet. So counting that chain 3, you have 2 double crochets. Chain 2, and we're going to work 2 more double crochets into the same space. Like that. So the corners always get the same thing. It's 2 doubles, a chain 2, and 2 doubles. Now we're going to put a front post triple crochet around this next stitch. So we're going to yarn over twice, go around the stitch, the post of the stitch, and go ahead and do your triple crochet. And then we're going to double crochet into the top of the next stitch. Yeah? And then we're going to do a front post triple crochet around the post of the next stitch. That. And now we're in our chain 2 space. Our next chain 2 space gets 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. Now we're going to kind of repeat what we just did. So this very first stitch gets a front post triple crochet, like that, and then a double crochet into the top of the next stitch, and then front post triple crochet into the next, like that. And now we're at our chain 2 space, so it gets 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. And that's what we're going to kind of repeat this thing all the way around, the same thing. So it'll be front post triple, double crochet, front post triple, and then we do our 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles, and then we front post triple, double, front post triple, and then when we back at our starting point. Alright, I've made it all the way around. My last stitch was a front post triple. Now I'm going to end by slip stitching into the top of my beginning chain 3. That'll end round 2, and you should have 28 stitches. Now, from here on out, every round will always have 16 more stitches than the round before, besides the very last round of edging, but we'll talk about that later. But from here on out, every round will have 16 more stitches than the round before. So we had 12 last round on round 1, so we have 28 now here on round 2, and you'll always have your 2 or your 4 chain 2 spaces. So round 3 is the repeat round for the rest of the pattern. So we start out with a chain of 3, and then all we do is, that counts as our double crochet. It's just a front post triple crochet, double crochet, repeat. So this is our double crochet, so our next stitch will be a front post triple crochet. And you would do that until you got to your first chain 2 space. Every round, you'll be a little bit farther from your chain 2 space. So your next stitch would be a double crochet, next stitch would be a front post triple, until you reach your chain 2 space. But we're already at our chain 2 space right now, so now I'm just going to put 2 double crochets, chain of 2, and 2 double crochets. That's what goes into every chain 2 space. That forms the corner. Now we're going to start again. We start off front post triple crochet into the first stitch. Oops. And then we double crochet into the next, and then we front post triple into the next, and you can see it is a front post triple from the previous round. So we always keep our post stitches, they always stay lined up. And then double crochet into the top of the next. And we do this until we get to our next chain 2 space. Front post triple into the next. And then double into the next. And then front post triple into the next. You'll always end in a front post triple before your chain 2 space. And then in the chain 2 space is the 2 doubles, chain of 2, and 2 more doubles, and then we always start off with a front post triple after the chain 2 space. So front post triple, and then double. Let me just repeat this, front post triple until we get to our next chain 2 space, and double, front post triple, double, and remember you always end in a front post triple before your chain 2 space. And then in the chain 2 space you work 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles. So we just repeat this all the way around. When you get back to the end, you end with a slip stitch into your beginning chain 3. You'll have 16 more stitches than you did the previous round, and then you just start again repeating round 3. You would just chain 3, front post triple, double crochet, front post triple until you get to your chain 2 space. So that's it. That's all there is to it. It's really pretty easy. So you want to keep repeating this round until you get a total of 8 rounds done. So this is round 3 that we're working on. Just finish that up. Then you start round 4, you work it the exact same way, round 5 the exact same way, and your posts will start to line up and you'll start to see them a lot better until you get a total of 8 rounds. Okay, once you get your 8 rounds done here, you have this big square. Now I'm just going to go around it now with a round of single crochet to clean it up and make it easier to sew it together. So I went ahead and ended with the slip stitch into my beginning chain 3, just like normal. So I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go back into that same spot there that we just slip stitched into, and I'm going to do a single crochet. And then I'm going to put 1 single crochet in the top of every stitch all the way around. This is going to clean up the edges really nicely, and then it'll make it a little bit easier, I think, probably to sew it together. Now when we get to the corners, our chain 2 spaces, coming right up on my first one here, in each chain 2 space we're going to go through the chain 2 space and we're going to work 3 single crochets. So right through this chain 2 space I'm going to work 3 singles. There's 1, 2, and 3, and then I'm going to continue around working 1 single crochet in every stitch across until I get to my next chain 2 space. Now remember to get this first stitch here, because sometimes it can hide behind these single crochets that you just did. Just gotta make sure and get that one. And I'm going to continue working 1 single crochet in every stitch until my next chain 2 space. And then when I get to my next chain 2 space, I'll put 3 single crochets in it, and then continue 1 single crochet in every stitch, 3 single crochets in this chain 2 space, 1 single crochet in every stitch, 3 single crochets into the last chain 2 space, and 1 single crochet in every stitch until we get back to our starting point. Okay, I've made it all around with my single crochet. And you should have 136 stitches now. And just go ahead and end with a slip stitch into your first single crochet, not this chain one here, but the first single crochet that we made. And tie this off. Now you want to make 2 pieces exactly the same so we can sew them together. So I got my other piece here. Now the way I'm going to sew them together is I'm just going to slip stitch mine together. But you know, you can use a yarn needle and sew them together. You can single crochet it together. Actually, whatever works best for you. But I'm going to put one facing, this is the wrong side, and then the other one facing the right side. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and sew it all together except for one side, and then we'll stuff our pillow insert in there, and then we'll finish sewing it together. So let me go ahead and grab my yarn here. You can start anywhere you want to sew it together. I'm going to start the corners. All we want to do though is kind of match up the stitches. So I'm going to start in the middle single crochet of this corner. But what I'm going to do is, you see how there are 2 loops? I'm going to work in the back loop of this first piece, and then I'm going to go over here to the middle single crochet of this group of 3, and I'm going to grab the front loop of that one. So I'm only going to be working in, go ahead and start my yarn, 1 loop on each side. Now you can go through both loops if you want, but I'm going to chain 1. Now what I'm going to do is go to the next stitch. I'm going to go through the back loop on this next stitch, and on this piece back here I'm going to go through the front loop only, and then I'm going to slip stitch, and then I'm going to jump to the next stitch, and I'm going to go through the back loop only on this piece, and then back over here, the next stitch over here, I'm going to go through the front loop only, and then I'm going to slip stitch. And this is what I'm going to do all the way around. So I'm going to go to the next one, go through the front loop, or the back loop only on this stitch, and then on the stitch on the back panel, you go through the front loop only, like that. So there's 2 loops on your hook. Well, 3 counting this one, I guess, but 2, there's the back loop here, and then the front loop on this piece, and then we just slip stitch. One more time, back loop on this stitch, and then on the panel in the back, you go through the front loop of that next stitch, and slip stitch. Now, there's no special thing that you have to do at the corners. There's no extra stitches or anything. You just continue working around like normal, just like this. Slip stitching it together, going through the back loop on the first panel and the front loop on the back panel. But like I said, if you want to go through both loops, that's fine. It's still going to sew up. Only difference is, it's just only, I have this, when you go through the 1 loop only, you have this little bridge here. That's just kind of for decoration. I mean, it's on the back too. It's not even that important. So if you're having trouble just going through 1 loop, you can just go ahead and go through both of them. So I'm going to continue this around 3 sides, and then we'll insert the pillow. So I'm going to continue around, and I'll meet back up with you once I get 3 sides sewn together. And I'll show you how we insert our pillow inside. So that's what it's starting to look like there. All right, I got 3 sides sewed up. Now I'm just going to take my pillow insert, put her in there, and then sew it back up the rest of the way. So you just kind of shove it in there. Make sure it gets down into the corners and stuff. That's probably the worst part, I think. Oh, it fits pretty good. There we go. And make sure, like I said, make sure you pull the corners down so it's in there kind of equally, kind of poofy. And now we're going to take it and just continue doing our slip stitching and sew it up the rest of the way. Once you fiddle around with it and get it all in there just right. Let's see where I'm at here. So I'm just going to start where I left off, and I'm going to keep slip stitching it up, even though it's really poofy now, in the same way that I have been doing it until it's completely closed up, until we get back to our starting point. It's kind of hard to show it because it's so poofy. But I'm just going to continue slip stitching it together the way we were doing it until I get back over here to my starting point. Okay, I've made it all the way around. Now what I'm going to do is just end it by slip stitching into my first slip stitch that I made. Just go through both loops to that first slip stitch. Maybe. And it's going to be tight. There we go. Now we can tie that off and hide any remaining tails that we have. Alright, that's it. Now, once you hide your tails, that's all there is to it. I think this pillow turned out pretty nice. I kind of like it. Now these, I'm going to hide my tail by weaving it in and out along the edge here. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. I hope you were able to follow along. Okay, I know it's big and poofy, but this is what it kind of looks like. I think it turned out pretty good. So, if you make this, I'd really love to see a picture of it. You can post it on my Facebook page. I'll put a link to that below in the description box. Also, don't forget to check out all my other tutorials. I have hundreds of crochet tutorials and all kinds of stuff yarn related. Don't forget to check that out, and don't forget to subscribe. If you look up in the top left hand corner, you'll probably see a picture of my face right about now. Just go ahead and click on that, and then you'll automatically be subscribed. So until next time, have a good day.